I am feeling good today, man. Yes. Okay, so let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Yeah, my low is pretty simple. It was hot. Very hot. Like, seriously, I made the right call by rolling down my windows throughout the day. Because, man, there were times I was, like, what, not dying, but, man, I had to be really careful. Seriously, like, no kidding, I probably drank like 10 pounds worth of water yesterday. I was so thirsty because it was so hot. Really not just water, but like any fluid I could get my hands on. That was not alcoholic, of course. I mean, I was thirsty, but not that thirsty. Again, I have no problems with alcohol or anything. I just don't really find myself drinking. Anyway, but my high and my act of kindness was, yesterday, this is my high, is that for the first time ever, I went to a fundraising charity gala for my church, the parish I go to in Corning, at the country club, and I was with my mom and dad. Really, as long as I'm with my mom and dad, that's already a high, but like, this is a time to dress nice and look the part and feel good, and that really made me feel good. And my act of kindness was, I was the only one who could go to church because at the last minute, my parents had to watch my nephews. So I killed the time. I helped them watch my nephews for a little bit. And it was fun. I got to see my nephews. I mean, it was beautiful outside. Very hot, but beautiful. I mean, my mom got like a kiddie pool ready, some toys. You know, my nephews got like ice cream and watermelon, which, man, I love me some watermelon. And no, just have to get myself watermelon at some point. Anyway, good morning and happy Sunday, everyone. So this weekend really was a weekend of firsts. I mean, on Friday night, I went to the very first Alive After 5 that the good city of Elmira had in over 2 years. Got to see lots of wonderful, good people from the city of Elmira there. Well, really, there's like people from Elmira, Horseheads, Corning, everywhere, right? But last night was also the first time that my church, the church I go to, was able to have their fundraising gala for because they have this every year for because there's a Catholic school in Corning called All Saints Academy, and obviously there's a church right across the street from it, and that's the church we go to. For the most part, I mean, actually, come to think of it, last night was probably the last time I'll be in that church until October. I'll probably be in there again, maybe. It's like an event or something, I guess. But, yeah. Last night was the last time I went to All Saints. Or, actually, the church is called St. Mary's, but it's across the street from All Saints Academy. And this gala was for, All Saints Academy. There was a big sort of, speech and people had a few things to say because, again, this is the first time we could have it in over 2 years. The pandemic really, it was sad. And not to mention, and I did a eulogy on this back on day 994, you should look up that video. Father Lou Brown had passed during this time. Again, I did my eulogy for him on day 994. Some days you're just never going to forget, and I'm never going to forget that day. It was actually a very beautiful day when I did the video too. Not a cloud in the sky. Anyway, as I was saying, this was a big event. And, if you've never been to any of these fundraising gala things, there was items up for silent auctions, and you can bid whatever it is you want to get. My mom actually tried to get this one plate, there's this one thing that was being auctioned was a few things, which include a wagon and stuff like that. That's the one that my mom actually tried to win. I think she bid this is a bunch of items. I think the bid she made was for 175. Then someone did 180, and then someone showed up and did 240. She's like, I'm done. I'm not doing that. But easily one of the funnest things ever At least for there was a game called Heads or Tails where this was actually a really fun game, but everyone got like by the dance floor and someone flipped a coin. You had to call it, and if you're out, if they call your whatever you call, you're in, and if you don't, you're out. So basically, you had first a 1 in 2 chance of staying, then a 1 in 4, then 1 in 8, and it took four tries for there to be a winner. So the person who won had a 1 in 16 chance of getting it. It's pretty impressive, isn't it? So one of the best and funniest things for sure was one thing that was being auctioned was this one sort of like macrame portrait type thing where it was basically an image of, you know, the Virgin Mary holding baby Jesus or something like this, kind of like this, I guess. And it was hand sewed macrame, had like 6,000 plus stitches or whatever. It looked like a painting, a real legit painting. And it was easily the most valuable thing there. And they actually had a live auction, sort of, where, you know, just like, they're like, I'm going once or twice sold, like one of those things. So the bidding first started at $700. Then someone did 8, then 9, then 1,000. Like, these two people were like really going at it. Like, actually, one of the funniest things said is, as the guy was like announcing everything, like, are you sure you're going to be able to leave? Saying, man, if only I made that one bid. And keep in mind, this is around when this item that was up for auction was like over $3,000. My father and I looked at each other and at the same time, nope. That was great. And my mom was sitting between us two, so she thought that was hilarious. This thing wound up being sold for $6,000. I'm like, well, look at this way. The guy who didn't win now saved some money for his kids' college. And obviously, with these things, there's got to be food and drink, and there was. There was a bar that, you know, if you were me and got like tonic and lime or soda or Pepsi, like it was like $3, but refills were free. So that's pretty much what I just did, and a whole lot of water. Hey man, I told you once before, it was hot yesterday. I was thirsty, very thirsty. Anyway, I arrived easily before my parents did because they were still watching my nephews. And so far, all they had was like a happy hour, which was there was Swedish meatballs, Italian meatballs with red sauce, I guess, Italian meatballs if you want to call them. And what I thought was the best thing was the bruschetta. It was like thin pieces of toast with and it wasn't crunchy either. One of my pet peeves with bruschetta, if I ever have, is like sometimes it's like biting into a rock, kind of. But this was actually well done, like perfectly saturated with the right amount of, you know, oil and everything. Oh, that was great. But then like we got to the main, you know, dinner. I mean, first they gave us salad, which, you know, at our table there was, you know, Italian and ranch. That's what I had, you know, Italian ranch. Poured on my salad. And, you know, there was rolls, and there's a butter plate, so you got, well, not rolls, but like, you know, sliced bread that you could, you know, just like bread and salad, you know. But then we got to like the main dinner. Now, this was where like everything was great. There was, let me get into the things I didn't have. The things I didn't have were, there was like this rice dish I didn't have. There was like this rainbow corkscrew, not the corkscrew pasta, but I forget the name of the pasta, but it was like rainbow with like carrots and stuff like that. I didn't have that. And green beans. Those are the 3 things I didn't have. What I did have, and I am going to be saying this in order of like what I thought was from, you know, least best to the best. There was potatoes, just potatoes. Not really, like, they're like little potatoes. They're kind of like salt potatoes, but they really weren't salty or anything. But, you know, there was potatoes, of course. I've been going back and forth on what was 3 and 4. But I'll say The salmon was 4. There was like salmon and like a nice cream sauce. That was really good. Number 3 for me was the asparagus. I love me some asparagus. It's like the big sort of stalks of asparagus or whatever, where like if you, like you really should be using like a knife and fork to cut. That's how good it was. Number 2, they had chicken marsala, with the wine sauce and the mushrooms. Oh, that was delicious. But the best thing, and you probably could have seen this coming, there was a prime rib carving station complete with au jus and horseradish. Come on, that was going to be the best thing. Of course it was. And it was. Holy cow. That was some of the best prime rib I've ever had. In a vacuum, that is. I mean, yeah, there are places on Keuka Lake I've had it where it's better. And, of course, I've had it at Libs. You've seen me have it at Libs before. Just look at my social media. But this is good prime rib. Very nice. And because I know what the best part of the prime rib is, I asked for some of that, too. It's just awesome. And for dessert, there was 2 kinds of, it was like a chocolate cake and a tiramisu cheesecake. I tried the tiramisu cheesecake. That was actually very good. But the way it was made, there was like, sort of like a wall of like the coffee cheesecake stuff. So by the time you got like in the actual like mascarpone cheesecake part was like in the middle of that. Like everything balanced out perfectly up until you got to like the very last bite, because as good as it was, it really was like biting into pure coffee. I like coffee, but like this might have been a little bit strong, even for me. And I can actually handle a lot. So it was all very nice. Seeing lots of different people was great. And, I got to dress up, look fancy. My mom and dad also got to dress up and look fancy too. And yeah, it was great. Really everything I had in terms of food-wise, it was all great. I mean, it's the Corning Country Club. My family has been members there for my entire life. I know exactly what they're capable of when it comes to what they make. And they really knocked it out of the park here. So to the good folks at the Corning Country Club, thank you. You are, I don't really talk about the Corning Country Club much, just simply because, it's a country club. There is a bit of an exclusivity factor, and I don't want to make anyone feel left out. But then again, if I do make anyone feel left out or feel bad, I'm very, very sorry. I do not mean for that to happen. That's just how it is. But I swear I don't mean to make anyone feel bad. Okay, good. So, where was I? Right, Corning Country Club was great. Honestly, considering that this was the last Saturday that my family and I were going to go out for anywhere in our area before we start going up to Keuka Lake, I honestly couldn't have thought of a better way to do it. Really and truly. Because remember, and I try and stress this with my folks too, because for the most part, on Saturdays after church, we pretty much just go to Sorges, and don't get me wrong, I love Sorges. Sorges is the OG. It's definitely, it's not a cornerstone for Corning, it's a gemstone. That's how good Sorges is. But, very rarely do we ever mix it up or do anything else. This was not only a great time to mix it up, but honestly, I couldn't have thought of anything better to do. It really was just, having the gala on Saturday was just, happenstance. It really could have been any other time, but, we got lucky and it happened to be, now, on Saturday. So, next week, and I was actually saying this to my mom, too, because as we're eating dinner, can you believe 1 week from now, we're going to be up at Keuka Lake? And here's the thing, the way my mom's schedule works is she's working on Saturday and Sunday, but she's going to be off Friday and Saturday. So yeah, we really are going to be together. So yeah, I can't believe for the final Saturday night where I go out with my folks, it was quite truly the best possible outcome. I mean, I really could. I could totally be splitting hair. Here's the thing. Let's say that my folks weren't members of the club and we didn't do this. Naturally, the best possible scenario is it's our last night going anywhere in town, so we decide to go to Libs. That would have been like the best thing. But since we go to the All Saints Parish and we are members of the country club anyway, you know, and considering this was a very fancy event where I got to meet lots of people, have fun, get dressed up looking nice, which I am really starting to embrace being able to do now. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna like make a habit of it. I mean, seriously, within like the last 8 weeks, I've probably been dressed up like that like 4 times without even trying. It just happened to be that way. But, you know, I'm not gonna make a habit of it. If there's a special event, you know, I'll get dressed up for that and I'll take a picture of that or do a video on that then. So there you go. But honestly, last night was wonderful. Congratulations to All Saints Parish and the good people in the parish. You know, you were able to have your fundraiser. I mean, from what I saw, it was clearly a huge success. You know, I got to see lots of people. You know who you are. It was great. You know, I can't wait to go again next year. Although, I wouldn't mind taking somebody with me. We'll just have to see. Like, favorite, share, hit that subscribe button, follow me on the social media platform, translation, YouTube. I'm very humble in this video for all of you guys who are watching. Joe for name. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. And remember, if you guys want to talk to us, we'll be here to lend me. Always have your back. Take care and make good choices. See ya.